Hello and welcome to Crypto Weeklies. In this video, we are going to analyze Bitcoin Cash. None of the content is financial advice. Right now, the price of Bitcoin Cash is about at around $580. In terms of why we are discussing Bitcoin Cash today, it's you can check out this chart on CryptoWeeklies.com. This is my own website. All of these charts are available for free. Personally developed and maintained at a daily level to check what the latest price action and the dynamic nature of price action affects this chart. So if you like this content, please give a like and subscribe to help the channel grow. So the heat map that we are looking at, the performance parameter of the major cryptos over the last 24 hours, most of them are down. Again, Bitcoin Cash is also down with them again negative 1.5%, but over the last 7 days Bitcoin Cash has held a little better, up about 9% over the last 7 days. Over the last 30 days as well, Bitcoin Cash up by about 5% over the last 90 days, with most of the cryptos being down. Still, Bitcoin Cash has been up about 4.7%. You can check most of the other major cryptos, even Bitcoin and ETH, are down over the last 90 days, whereas Bitcoin Cash has held its own. So this is where we analyze again what are the larger trends in the market using data as a guiding line. Now that Bitcoin Cash has shown some strength, we do the rest of the analysis. How is the price action looking with respect to the technical levels? Again, the price is kind of sandwiched between the simple moving averages. The 20-week simple moving average is at around $557, and the 21-week exponential moving average at around $540. So price above both of these averages, but again coming close to this descending white line, which is like since 2024, this descending peak from let's say March 2024 to December 2024, now from September 2025. Now potentially, if there is a breakout, like if the price action closes above the $590 level for this week, or again if a similar level in next week, that could be a change in the structure of this rally, and then the next target could be the 0.382 at around $675 or so. So that's the bull case. If there is a correction, then again these moving averages could act as some sort of a support, unless there is a severe downturn in the macro side of things. So, and the major area of support is this, so this 50-week simple moving average is at around $465, and it's a rising average. So depending on how and when price corrects to that level, the reality of that time could be much different from what it is today. So coming to our own website, an analysis of Bitcoin Cash, first we'll look at the current price in terms of the regression based fair value. This is a polynomial model with 2 degrees of freedom to look for non-linearity in a quadratic fashion. The fair value is this pink line over here, accounts for the bear market and the bull market. The fair value is at around $576. The price is very close to the fair value per this model again, and whenever, if we are looking for any good deals in the market to DCA, whenever the price is below this green line over here, which is 1 standard deviation residual drawn from the fair value, anytime the price is coming close to this green line or is below the green line, like it was back in 2022 June till about June 2023, 1 year, again when everybody is kind of tuned off, that's when again when everything is boring in the asset class, that's when DCA makes the most amount of sense. The opposite of that is, again, if you DCA out, again not financial advice, whenever the price goes 1 standard deviation residual away from the fair value regression band, which is this yellow line over here, like it did back in April 2024, again accumulating below, that is again below 140, and DCing out above 500 would still be more than 3x, almost close to 3.5x return again on this, again well-known asset, again top 20 asset by market cap. It's still a modest gain. Again, what we can say that in the bear market of 2026, if and when the price action goes below the green line, that is at around $330, that's when the DCA in the bear market makes the most amount of sense. Again, if we were to look for cycle to cycle, again the 2 standard deviation residual in the midpoint of the 1 standard deviation residual and the 2 standard deviation residual, that's where the market cycle peak for this market cycle, that is in 2024-2025 for Bitcoin Cash came. The next time around, again, it could be from cycle to cycle, it would be harder to get to that 2 standard deviation overvaluation. So we look at the yellow line even more closely. So in the future cycle, again, let's say if we extrapolate that in 3 to 4 years out, the 2 standard deviation ceiling could be somewhere closer to that $2,000 level. So that's just an extrapolation exercise. If we were to come back to Bitcoin Cash and analyze the price action with respect to the machine learning model and try to forecast what could happen in the next 6 months using seasonal ARIMA and LSTM based machine learning model, these are all developed in-house, and look at what is the bull case using standard deviation as a guiding light. The 1 standard deviation peak forecasted, again, if the asset class stays bullish between now and May 2026, which is highly unlikely considering 2026, if we look at from the 4-year market cycle theory, is more likely to be a bear market year. Even so, just for completeness, if we were to conduct this analysis till March of 2026, if the uptrend were to continue, the price of Bitcoin Cash and BCH could be close to $1,000, whereas if the 2026 were to see a non-panic bear market, the lows for Bitcoin Cash could be somewhere close to between $275 and $480. And again, this is all time stamped. So again, what a low could look like in January, if there is a drop in January, would be different if the low were to materialize in April of 2026. So again, you can check that out in tabular format over here as well, and pictorial format up here. So that's the range, about $1,000 to the upside if there is 3 months more like bullish price action, and if there is a sideways consolidation, again, not much changes. But whereas if there is a precipitous drop, that could again get price action close to that $330 level. That's where the DCA model also could flash some buy signals. The time weighted average price analysis for Bitcoin Cash has been more instrumental, and again, whenever the price is below this blue line, which is the time weighted average price, this is the first line in sand to look for if the price is in an accumulation phase or in a distribution phase. Whenever the price has been above the blue line, it has not been a good sign for Bitcoin Cash. Again, this asset has spent a considerable amount of time below the time weighted average price, only a meaningful couple of weeks to months in the midst of a parabolic bull run in the asset class. That's when the price gets into this above the time weighted average price, again, present price action excluded. So there is high likelihood that in 2026 the price could fall below the time weighted average price. And again, the first drop in again in below the time weighted average price, again, DCing at that level could be jumping too early. Only when again price action has gone 50% below the time weighted average price, that, or again at least 30 to 50% below the time weighted average price, that's when DCA makes most amount of sense. And again, if you take 30% away from $420, again, that would be again removing, roughly speaking, $120 from that $420. That could usher in a time weighted average price based signal at around $300. Again, kind of a confluence around what is a fair value or where DCA zone for Bitcoin Cash. All in all, again, the 20-week simple moving average price risk has again gone up as the price is above the 20-week simple moving average, as we mentioned earlier, about a $20 difference. So again, and with the rest of the asset class significantly below the 20-week simple moving average, Bitcoin Cash does stick out as a sore thumb right now. So again, does not signal a buy zone over here anytime. The best Bitcoin Cash did in terms of the SMA model to flash a buy zone was between 0.2 and 0.3 risk, but again, that is also kind of a hit or miss kind of scenario where again DCA at those level between 0.2 and 0.3, although it does not guarantee a DCA at the bottom, but again, if you add between 0.2 and 0.4 risk, again, you are at least excluding DCA at the peaks, or where again the price action has gone too much into the euphoria territory. So again, this is another model to help identify the bear market scenario. So all in all, again, if you were to conclude the bear case, or let's say the DCA zone for Bitcoin Cash, one range between $300 and $350 with a midpoint at a 330 mix. Again, the most amount of confluence right now. And if we were to look at Bitcoincash from the bullish perspective, and let's say come up with a base peak scenario in the future bull run, again somewhere between $1,000 and 1,700, that's where again, if all of these risk indicators were to go into the high risk territory between 0.8 and 100% risk, from what we have seen thus far, the peak in those rallies could be somewhere between $1,000 and $1,700. With that, I would like to conclude. Hope you enjoyed the content. If you did, please give a like and subscribe, and hope to see you again tomorrow. Thank you and have a nice day. Bye bye.